Dear student, assalamu alaikum. I hope all you are fine and doing well. Uh, this is chapter number 14, and here we will discuss dialogue notations and design. Okay, it's mean how a human and computer interact and how they communicate each other. What are the methods that a human and computer are used to communicate each other? Okay, so all these things we will discuss step by step in this lecture. So let's move toward the very first slides. Here I have included a few lines about dialogue. Actually, dialogue is the conversation between two or more parties. We will also explain in the next slide deeply, but here just I want to tell you generically that dialogue is a communication. Okay, it's a conversations between two parties. The first party may be computer, or the second party may be again a computer, or human or computer and human. So these are two parties. Okay, in the second one I have included that in user interface is the front end design of your system, your product, your software, anything in front of you that is your product. So you design the front end of that product, so this is interface. Okay, in the next slide I will deeply explain. And levels, so we have three level: lexicals, synthetic and semantic. So in the lexical level of communications or interface, we will check shapes and icons. Okay, and the second one, synthetic, it check the order of input and output. That we inserted, we input 1 2 3 4 5, and what will be the output of these inputs. So it is responsible for the flow of these input and output. Okay, and in the very last semantic level, we will check here are this is responsible for the meaning of an input and output. Okay, so here I have included what is interface and dialogue. So interface, again, channel of communication between human and computer. So in human and computer interaction, so the front end of a system, this is the interface. Okay, and through this computer can interact with the user, and user can interact or communicate, can understand, okay, can get information from the front end design of the system or the computer. Okay, so this is interface. And what is dialogue? So the process of communication that occur at the interface first. Okay, the process of communication, for example, me and computer want to interact, want to communicate each other. So dialogue, this is the conversation between system, the front end design of your product or system or computer, anything, and me or humans. So this is communication. Again, the second sentence for dialogue, a conversation between two or more parties. As we have discussed in the previous slide, that dialogue is a conversation between two parties, two or more parties. Okay, so two party, if there is one computer and one human, or one computer and again one computer, so one to one is a two party conversation. More than two party conversation, if we arrange an online meeting through Zoom or Google Meet, or as you know about the Google Meet classroom, online classroom, we took many online classroom through Google Meet. So this is the best example of more than one user parties conversation. Okay, so there are lots of students, and a teacher can interact with them, and this is not a one-to-one, this is now one-to-many conversation. Okay, so this is a dialogue. Level of computer language. Okay, we just generically discuss on the very first slide there was lexical, synthetic and semantic analysis. So here we will discuss a bit deeply. Level of computer language. So the first one is lexical level. So what this level tell us are this level responsible for what rules or what work or any other. Okay, so the shape of icon, the key pressed, the key we pressed, and shapes of icons. So lexical analysis or level is responsible for these work. Okay, second one is again synthetic level of computer language. Okay, the order and structure of input and output. Okay, if this is for the computer, and if we want to take an example of human related, so there is grammar in human language. If the grammar is not correct in a sentence or the syntax spellings mistakes, so synthetic level is responsible for these jobs. Okay, so as I told you that the input and output of flow and order, these are covered by synthetic, and if we discuss human, so the grammar or spelling mistakes for these words, synthetic is responsible. Okay, the third one is semantic. So semantic is here responsible for meaning of a work or a key or a sentence. Okay, as I have included here that the meaning of the meaning of the conversation in terms of its effect on the computer internal data structure or the external world. Okay, so as I told you, you can see here that it's responsible for the meaning of sentence or any other job between human and computer interaction. Okay, so after this, these are some terminologies. First, is dialogue correct term? So here it's forcing that and checking, questioning that the dialogue is a correct term or not. So the very first bullet here include that some suggest that communication with human and computer interface is not full or proper communications. Okay, in this bullet we can simply say that the interaction between human and computer and a communication between them, this is not a full and proper communication. Why, we will discuss later on, but here just know about this, that this is not a proper communication. Okay, second bullet I have included, the computer is just a tool. Computer is not a human or any in human like natural thing. So this is artificial and this is just a tool, and it contains multiple programs instruction that responds again human activities. Okay, so this is just a tool. Remember, this is a tool. Okay, so not another intelligent entity with which to have a conversations. Okay, this is not an intelligent entity like humans. Okay, this is simply a tool. Terminology continue. We are communicating with the intelligence of the designer embedded in the system. Okay, for example, here I want to explain a bit that we are here talking about the human and computer interaction, and these are not both the intelligent, the natural entities. Computer is just a tool and contain multiple program, multiple instruction for each human activity, and once a human perform an activity or start an activity, so the computer which is a tool that can perform, can give the backup, the answer of the human activity questions. Okay, so the last terminology, that is do all party involved need to be intelligent for dialogue to occur? If you want to start communication between a computer or two party involved in communication, so is this important that both these parties must be belong to intelligent field or intelligent community? So this is questions. Okay. And human and computer dialogue similarities. So human computer dialogue similarities. Okay, the first bullet here explain that both are form of communication where certain degree of understanding is involved. A human or computer or any other system will not generate a language or any activity that doesn't understand by the human or by the computer. Okay, must they will use that level that can understand by both of these parties. Okay, if computer use a language that doesn't understand by a human or a person, so it's mean here the interaction or the communication will be big, or this is just a valueless communication. Why? Because the other party is not understanding what is the first party says or they are saying. Okay, and this is also very important for the human, for the person, for the people, that they must use the language or shape or notations those understand by the computer. Okay, our computer aware from all those notation must used by the user. In the second bullet, both require agreement on terminology used in the dialogue. So in previous slide we discussed few terminologies. So here human and computer dialogue similarity, this is this heading forcing that both these must follow or both these require agreement on terminologies. Okay, already we discussed terminology in the previous slide. So the very last one, misunderstanding of context result. If there is a single point that doesn't understand by the human or by the computer, so it will interrupt the dialogue, it will interrupt the communication, it will break the communication between those two parties or more than two parties. Okay, so for this, to secure yourself or to secure the communication, the dialogue, we need these points, about these points. Okay, we need to follow these points. So after this, human and computer dialogue differences, this is differences. Okay, actually here we will differentiate human and computer. What are the parts of the physical parts are spoken language of a computer, and what are the parts of humans, and what are the language that a human can understand. Okay, so first bullets we included of the computer: mouse, keyboard, touch screen, speech. These are humans. Okay, the third line, these are related to the human parts. So speech, gesture, body language, eye contact, these are humans parts. And the second line were included mouse, keyboard, touch, these are computer parts. You can see the title, you can read the title, which is clearly show that here we are just differentiating between human and computers. Okay, physical media are different, mean the parts of computer are totally different from the human. Okay, while because human is a natural entity, while computer is not a natural, this is just an artificial entity. Okay, so the second bullet, spoken language is ungrammatical, interrupted. So these are computer related, this is a computer related statement, and here I have included that if the grammar is not correct, so the computer will not understand properly. Okay, it will interrupt the dialogue or the communication. Last bullet, people can repair breakdown in dialogue, mean if there is a mistake in grammar or anything else, so human can recover these, human can reconstruct this language, but computer cannot. Okay, Grammatical notations. From here we will discuss notations of graphical, sorry, this is graphical, not grammatical, graphical notation. Okay, if you want to draw a graph, so what will be the elements that we need to complete that graph? Okay, so here I have included a simple graph. If you study theory of automata, so this will be very easy for you, because here I have included just states and lines. Okay, so the circle are called nodes or points. Okay, and these lines are arrows or represent links or edges. Okay, also we can say the circle, double circle represent the starting state, and also the double circle here, the last one, represent uh, the end state. Okay, we can start from a double and circle, and we can end from the double circle, but we cannot double any other circle between these. Just source and destination circle must be encircled by double circle lines. Okay, so actually this one is a state transition network. Label and circle a bit uninformative. Okay, state are hard to name but easier to visualize. So these are a bit hard to name, these circles, but this is a very easy network. Okay, and this is state transition network. Hierarchical is the next network we will discuss, and a hierarchical state transition network is the combinations of what? Of state transition network. Okay, you can see that here I have included here there are multiple state transition network. You can see that a graphic submenu is a state transition network. Text submenu is again a state transition network. So text submenu can be text. If you want to bold a text, we can italic a text, we can change the style of the text. So these are one states, and as I told, bold, italic, styles are any size. So these are jobs or activities. Okay, so the line represent activity and the circle represent a specific task name. Okay, so what is hierarchical state transition networks or diagram or notation? Actually this is the combination of state transition diagram in very simple words. Okay, and suppose this is the main menu. Okay, and there are three sub state transition diagram networks or menus. Okay, you can see for graphic this is a special menu, and for text this is again a state transition network, and for paint again this is the final one and state transition network, you can see. Okay, so the second one we want to explain here, this one. Okay, text submenu. This is the submenu of menu, and the name of this transition graph is hierarchical transition network or graph. Okay, notation also you can say. So concurrent dialog, one simple dialog box. Now this is text menu. So here a text may be bold or italic. Also we can bold and we can italic. Okay, and all these three features are designed we can apply on a text. Okay, so this is the sub menu, while the main menu was main menu, and sub menu, one for graphic, one for text, and one for paint. So like this you can create a hierarchical diagram for menus. Okay, now this is a simple diagram for state transition network. and multiple state transition network combine create a hierarchical diagram. Okay, so you can see here I have a text or multiple text combination of text that contain no style. Okay, now if you want to bold, so you can see this is the name of that activity or that style. This is bold and italic, this is italic only. So this line or directed line represent that we can move toward this direction and also we can move toward this direction. This is also bidirectional, this is also by all these are bidirectional network. Okay, this is a simple state transition network, and if we combine multiple state transition networks, so it will make a hierarchical state transition network. So now the activity here is bold. So if we want to bold our text or combination of text, so we will move toward this state. Okay, this is a state. And now if I want to italic, so I will move toward this. Why? Italic job or activity are represented by this line, so I can move to this one. Okay, again I can bold and italic through this state. So here I hope it makes sense that this is a simple state transition diagram, and a single state represents the job name, the activity name. Now bold is an activity. If I need this and I want to apply this activity on my text, so I will go through these edges. Okay, and bold italic is this stage, and this is the italics only. Okay, so these all about text styles and menu. Okay, this is sub menu of hierarchical, and this is a single state transition network. So this was the lecture for 14 number chapter. Read this, watch the video again and again. If you are facing any issue, so let me know, I will help you. Thank you very much.